Brought to you by DIS, keeping companies connected with cloud-based solutions. Come on!
Happy New Year as well. It's been a bit of a while since we last spoke. How have you spent the extended break? What have you been up to?
Yeah, Happy New Year, first of all. We've just been again, obviously it's a busy month, obviously with recruitment, etc. and trying to balance off the work between the players, obviously on the field and also the recruitment part. So again, really busy at the minute.
How have you found that balance and which has taken precedent?
I think you've just got to extend what you're already doing. So if you're working, a certain amount of hours, you've just got to up it to make sure that you're not losing out on any. So you're putting everything to both.
Let's start on the recruitment side of things first and foremost. How is work going on behind the scenes?
Yeah, really good. We're pleased with how things are going so far. It's not as straightforward as everybody thinks, potentially, but we're in advanced talks with some players and hoping to get them through the door.
Is it right to assume that a goalkeeper is a priority given the injury to Richard O'Donnell?
Yeah, of course. We're looking to get a goalkeeper in for Saturday's game, all being well.
And just on Richard's injury as well, just how big a blow is that to lose not only your number one but your captain as well? Yeah,
obviously Rich is a massive person for the club and for his teammates and for us as staff. For him to lose, obviously himself with injury at the minute and not be able to play games, it's not nice for him. We don't want anyone to get injured, but football is like that. He's got to focus on his recovery, support the boys, support the lads, and also it's an opportunity for Sam to prove himself. Thought he was good last game. Obviously kept a clean sheet, so he's got to remain positive and keep on trying to get clean sheets and perform well.
In terms of the goalkeeper that you hope to bring in before the weekend, are you expecting this goalkeeper to be a backup to Sam, or will it be a number one replacement? Who's going to be taking the gloves?
I think for us at the minute, Sam is going to be number one, and I think he deserves that opportunity and that chance. And we're going to bring somebody in who's going to also help push Sam on as well.
You mentioned that you were close to sealing some of your targets that you'll have identified already. It's been widely reported that you've been in for Jordan Stevens of Leeds United. Is that someone that you're monitoring?
Well, Jordan's somebody that we're aware of. Obviously, he's been at Leeds for a few years now, and we've watched him over, watching their 23s, and obviously he's at Swindon as well. So he's definitely a player that we rate.
Is that an area of the field more widely that you're looking at, Conor, to strengthen? Yeah,
I think I spoke about the last interview, and we were talking about strengthening. If that's from the starting lineup or some impact players, I definitely think that we've got areas to improve, and wide, especially impact players and different types of wingers are something that we are looking to invest in.
How much are you learning about the recruitment side of things, and how much of a help has Lee been so far? Yeah,
myself and Mark are learning. Lee's been fantastic, as well as other people in the building, working hard to make sure that these players that we're identifying are the right ones for the club. And the strategy to make that happen is key, and we're happy where we are right now, and we're looking to move forward and get them over the line.
In terms of outgoings, Conor, do you expect anyone to leave the club in this window?
I think it's like any club. Said it before, people come in, people come out. We're no different. We'll see what happens. I'm not obviously going to say anything about that, but it does happen in football, and we're no different.
I wanted to ask you about, if I may, Austin Samuels. He's got one appearance under your tenure with yourself and Mark. What is his future at the football club? Are you happy to keep hold of him?
Well, obviously monitoring Austin. He's coming on loan, obviously a young player, and we're monitoring, see how he does, and obviously go from there. Obviously we've got a good relationship with Wolves, and we've got to make sure that what happens next is right for us. Obviously we've got to make the decisions, as well as Wolves as well, so work together on what's best for Austin.
Is your dad in your ear about him at all?
I've not spoken to him for a week or so now, so not spoke about him recently.
Just away from the January window, some great news to come through from the football club in respect to the 0 positive cases in the latest round of COVID testing. Huge credit, huge testament to everyone that's been involved in achieving that. Just how pleasing is it for you as joint manager to see those numbers come through, and how much does it just alleviate any forms of anxiety that you may have had about any potential COVID outbreak?
Yeah, like I say, it's I think it's brilliant for everybody involved. Paula, Ryan, everyone who works hard, the physios and the protocols in the building. I think it just allows us to feel more safe in our workplace, and also for our sacrifices that we are making around the building, that they're actually paying off. So as a club, we're proud of the results, and I think it just kudos to those that have worked hard to make it happen.
Yeah, quite right. It feels like every time we speak, the picture continues to get worse. The numbers are heightening. The situation is becoming more severe. How much are you having to be coherent with those numbers in terms of how much you talk about COVID and how much you talk about the regulations and the protocols that need to be fulfilled?
Yeah, I think first of all, everybody in the building's been fantastic. As soon as you say something that needs doing, they do it to their best ability. If that's they can't go in a certain part of the training ground, they'll listen to you, and they'll make sure that they'll get off early, or make sure that everything's in place for us. So the minute it's difficult, because the players have got to leave earlier than they would normally, just to stop that infection rate if it was to happen.
Also, it's been introduced twice weekly testing, and we spoke to Anthony O'Connor about it not so long ago. Just how big of an aid is that going to be for you, and how much assurance does it give you as a side that you're going to have regular testing now?
Yeah, it's massive. It's massive for us. I think it's been maybe, I'm not sure how many months before we were in charge they were tested, but again for us it's our first time, and to have that clarity of you're not positive and you haven't got coronavirus is a big relief. So I think the safety that it adds for us to be tested so often is huge.
What are your thoughts on the season as a whole? There's been a lot of talk about circuit breakers coming in, maybe a 4-week period of a layoff. I think I'm right in saying that Middlesbrough have just reported an outbreak at their training facility. We don't know the full extent of the numbers to come back from the mass EFL testing, but do you fear, or do you feel that a pause in the season may come?
I think you've got to be prepared for it, and you've got to have a contingency plan if it does happen, and try and protect everybody and not go in surprised if there is an outbreak, if somebody else, another team that you're playing, have got an outbreak. So I think we've just got to be well prepared and make sure that if it does happen to us or another club, that we can move on and get through it. My opinion would be, obviously we just want the games to happen and for the season to be fluid and to carry on. But again, there'll be hurdles along the way and obstacles, and we're no different.
Of course, had to jump over one of those recently with the suspension to the Morecambe game. It's given you a bit of extended time between the last game and the one coming this Saturday. How has preparation been in that time? Have you had the opportunity to get on the training field and really spend some time with the players now? Yeah,
we've had a good start to the week, and again, it's just important for us to build on what we've been doing. And the players are performing well and their attitude's spot on. So long may it continue, and we're looking forward to Saturday's game.
What's it allowed you to do, Conor, with the players? What have you been able to work on with them specifically?
I think it's as coaches, as managers, your job is to get players better, condition them, and we're no different. Where we're going out there, we're working on things that are going to make the team better, going to make the individuals better, and sort of being working hard on the planning to make sure that everything's smooth.
What do you make of Scunthorpe then? It'll be a big game for you given the league position.
Yeah, massive game, and again we're looking forward to it, and just looking to remain unbeaten and see where we go with it. But again, we're confident that we can go and get a result there.
Given the league position, is there an added importance on the game, or are you just going to tell me that it's like any other one?
Yeah, I think that's the best answer really. I think again we just go again and try and perform and make sure that the things that we can control are controlled, and we go for the win.
Who's going to be your captain?
Well, obviously last game that you saw, Lee was captain, so we're looking to carry that on. Yeah, so can we expect to see Lee take the armband in the period that Richard's going to be out for? Yes, yeah, I believe so. We've had a conversation, obviously, when Rich got injured, about who we felt was next, who's vice captain, if you like. Because obviously Rich has played a lot of games, and we felt that Lee, with his experience and the way that he carries himself and helps the others, that he was a perfect person for that. When you say we, was that a collective decision between yourself and Mark? Yeah, consulted other people as well, and what happened before, and we just tried to gather as much information as possible and make sure that we made the right decision. Talking about form, talking about momentum, talking about the results that you've had recently, of course it's given you a better picture of the table, but still you're within that mix at the bottom with how the results have gone elsewhere as well. How wary do you still have to be of the relegation zone? Of course, I think it's so tight. From mid-table to the bottom, points are crucial, and we've got to just keep on picking points up and working hard to our goals. And it's like any other team around this area. You've got to try and pull away from the relegation zone and make sure that you're performing. Final one from me, Conor. Speaking to Conor Wood midweek, and one thing that came up, of course, was his contract situation at the football club. He's out of a deal in the summer, and he's very open to starting discussions. When can you, as a football club, start having those contract discussions with players like Conor and others as well? Yeah, obviously with the window with January, it's a very busy time. As a club, we're looking to get through this crucial window, and then start talking about contract renewals with the players after that. Is Conor a player that you'd be keen to keep hold of? I think Conor's been a great player over the last 2-3 years that he's been here, and he's got to just keep focusing on his performances and not letting a contract renewal get him down. So he's got to perform as well. And finally, just how big a factor is the salary cap in all these equations and all these discussions that you have to have? How much do you have to monitor that as well with the recruitment side of things? Yeah, it's a part of League Two now, part of League One, of the salary cap, and we're no different. We've got to make sure that we plan ahead. Anybody that we get in, or somebody that has to leave, potentially we have to weigh it all up and make sure that we're in the right position at the end of it. Cheers, Conor. Thank you. Cheers.
When you talk about recruitment, are you looking at loans as well as permanent deals?
Yeah, I think we're no different. I think there's people out there who, we've got available loans at the minute. Obviously, we've got Bryce, so we have got possibilities to bring loans in. Yes.
Back to COVID, one thing that hasn't really been mentioned much is a big part of a football team is the social aspect, the team building, which of course players haven't been able to do or do very little of, and now they can't do it all. How much does that then fall on the likes of you and Mark to build that team spirit, although Bradford does have a good one?
Yeah, I think, like you say, it's one it's common, and everybody's finding the same problem, that the players aren't in the building for as long, and that potential, that cohesion is maybe lost. I think the guys here have got a great relationship with each other. You can see it in the building, you can see it when they're out training, and we've got to be mindful and open to make sure that we're not interfering too much, and we're still allowing them to have those relationships. If it's an extra 10 minutes where they're on the pitch at the end, at training, where they can socialise a little bit more. But again, we've got to stick to guidelines and make sure that we're protecting the players as well.
And we have seen over the Christmas period several high-profile players breaking COVID regulations. Is that something you reiterate to the players all the time, particularly the young ones, where they're naturally going to want to go out and mix with each other.
Yeah, I think we can control what happens here. Hopefully, we're looking at the players to be professional enough to when they do go home and they're travelling home, that they're abiding like everybody else.
Cheers. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Saying, Conor, obviously about having these twice weekly tests coming in now. I mean, hopefully that'll help presumably reassure players as well, won't it? Because obviously you switch on Sky Sports News and there's always another team who've got a problem and other players. It's become such a regular thing that it must be mentally quite unnerving at times.
Yeah, I think, like you say, it's for yourself to have that. 1 second. Yeah, like you said, just for their own peace of mind, for the players to have that safety of the knowing if they're positive or negative, is huge. So it's ideal that they're having these tests.
Yeah, and it does put the club so far in a very good light, doesn't it? Because the protocols you've had literally from the first day of pre-season. I mean, you've seen high-profile Championship clubs having a lot of problems, and here's City, who this week, had a full clean bill of health, didn't they?
Yeah, I think it gives everybody confidence, and again, just everybody at the club's been fantastic to make sure it's been a safe place to work, and we've been told what we need to do, and we've been implementing that in the best way possible. And if that makes everyone feel safe, and it allowed us to have a 0 on the tests, magnificent.
And presumably it encourages them to keep going, because I know it's a pretty alien environment this season, and it seems very weird to compare to normal football seasons. But if the players can see it's working, it presumably it's a great encouragement. Yeah, just carry on as you are.
Yeah, exactly. So they've just got to keep performing, keep sticking to the guidelines, keep looking to win on a Saturday or a Tuesday, whenever that is.
And in terms, obviously, of the form, you've had a nice little break now. I mean, is this sort of like, part 2 of the season now? Do you sort of draw a line on what you've achieved so far and said, right, we've got a big game Saturday, we've now got a bit more of a gap between matches, and this is almost like a new start sort of thing?
I'd say it's just to build. Obviously, the foundations have been there from me and Mark and what we wanted, and the players have been fantastic. So we're just looking to build game by game again, and just get better at what we do, and hopefully their messages are more clear, and it provides more clarity for the players, and they can just get on with it.
And in terms of obviously of the window, you said about it's been encouraging so far. I mean, are you where you hope to be at this stage? Because I know it's been there's been a lot of preparation gone into what you want to do in January. I mean, in terms of who you've spoken to, what offers or what encouragements have been made. I mean, are you sort of quite a comfortable position at the moment?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say we're in a comfortable position. As you know, the transfer window it moves quickly. People become available, unavailable. So again, you've got to be planning ahead and make sure that you're identifying the right targets, but you also got backups just in case things don't work out.
It's normally, being as it's like literally the first week in January, it's quite unusual for deals to be done at this stage anyway, isn't it? It tends to be a case of almost doing the groundwork and just sort of putting the hard yards in, for want of a better phrase, isn't it? Yeah,
you're quite right. There's not as much movement early on. You probably start to see it as we get past the maybe 2 week barrier, and then deals will start to open up. But again, we want the deals that we're the players that we're after. We want them done as soon as we can. But we're also wise enough to know that that's not always the case.
I was going to ask you very quickly about Sam. Obviously, he's waited a long time for his chance. He's had little bits here and there. I mean, when you've been a backup keeper for a long time, it's a different challenge now. When mentality, the fact that you're now in inverted commas the number 1. Yeah,
of course. Again, when Sam was training, when Rich was fit, he was doing really well. He was impressing. So for him, it's a fantastic opportunity, and we believe that he is good enough to step in. So we're eager to see how that lies for him, and I think he can just take confidence from the last game, and like you say, it's a different mentality, being a number 1, and he's got to quickly learn about it, and he's got to perform at the end of the day.
it's potentially a big opportunity for him, isn't it? Because it's almost like an audition, and he knows he's got a decent run of games coming up while Richard's recovering, and the opportunity's there, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And if he's performing really well, and again we're keeping clean sheets and not conceding as many goals. It's based on performances. So there's an opportunity, like any keeper that comes in as second choice. There's an opportunity to reverse it. That's not out the window.
And presumably from his own self-belief, his own confidence, being told that this is your opportunity, rather than the club perhaps rushing out to get someone perhaps a bit more senior to come straight in. That should make him feel good. Yeah,
and I think that's important. I think with Sam and where he is at the minute, if we felt that he wasn't able to come in as first choice, then we'd probably having different discussions and looking at potential different players to come in, the goalkeeper to come in. So I think he can take confidence from the club's decision. Yeah.
And he's left-footed as well, which helps for the back four, doesn't it?
Yeah, left-footed. Yeah, he strikes the ball really well. He's got some really good attributes. Him and Rich aren't identical, even though they're both left-footed. But they're both really good keepers.
Best of luck tomorrow now.
Thank you very much.
Could I ask, Conor, you talk about the change in mindset for Sam. Has there been any feed for you and Mark? As you've gone from match to match caretakers to interim, is it able to change your thinking in any way?
Not really. I think the only things that it affects is the long-term planning. That's the biggest one. Other than that, I think the coaching and what we're delivering and how we're trying to get the players to play is identical. So it would just be the planning ahead and basically being the managers. So I think that's key for us to just go on and keep trying to improve the team and improve the individuals. And that's what we're trying to do.
And to be trusted by Ryan to have your imprint on this transfer window, does that mean a lot to you?
Yeah, I think we're elated with the position that we're in. And again, we're talking about Sam getting an opportunity as second choice, and rightfully so. And it's no different for people who are given opportunities in different disciplines. And and as a manager, me and Mark we're confident that we can help the players and let's see what happens. It's been a good start, and again we're mindful of it's not all going to be plain sailing, and we'll see what happens from there.
Has it made it more enjoyable this week that you've actually been able to do some proper training ground work with the players, rather than the sort of more rushed analysis and not so much work on the grass with them?
I'd probably say it's been a little bit more relaxed, because from a staff point of view, there's a lot of work that goes into preparing the games, like we've said before. So from a training point of view, it's been relaxed in terms of having more time with the players. But again, the planning for the sessions is still relentless. There's more work for me and Mark to do at the minute, because there's more sessions which take a lot of your time.
But obviously you're probably still finding things out about management at the moment. But is coaching the bit of it that you most enjoy?
Yeah, I think me and Matt got into coaching because we love football, and we want to help develop people and players. So again, on the grass is probably where we're at our most natural.
And have you been pleased with the receptiveness of the lads to take your ideas on board?
Yeah, the guys have been superb. They have high standards and high expectations of themselves, and we'll match them and even go further to make sure that they're training to get better. They're not just training to pass time.
And maybe this is one to ask you again at the end of the month, but how is dealing in the transfer market been? It seems for a lot of managers it can be a real stressful, and distracting situation. How have you found it?
Yeah, it's I quite enjoy the recruitment side of it. It's a part as a manager, and for me and Mark, we've got to be crystal clear on where we see the club going and what we want to add to the team. So from our point of view, it's been enjoyable trying to, with Lee and staff, identify the right players who we feel are gonna help the team. It's been enjoyable.
And just on Lee Novak, obviously Stuart didn't really have the benefit of him for the last 11 games or so. How fortunate have you been to actually have Lee's experience and Lee's abilities available to you?
Yeah, of course. We all know Lee's capabilities, his experiences. Obviously, he was injured for a period of time before we came in. So we're thankful that he is back in the team. We've had to monitor and manage his workload at times to make sure that he's able to play the games. But again, his attitude and commitment has been top draw.
And different managers are different, but how much have you lent on the likes of Lee and your other experienced players in terms of bouncing ideas off them and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think it's important that you've got that rapport with the players, the experienced players are the ones that who potentially we do talk to at times, just to see what they've done in the past, how the lads are, how his camp, and I think them conversations they appreciate them as well. But again, we've got to make the right decisions for the club. Has it gone off?
It crashed. Sorry, Conor, just one last one. Just get the call at the wrong time. I suppose that chimes with what you were saying about Sam as well, in terms of making people feel appreciated. Is that an important part of your role, that everyone feels that they're a part of something and they're not just being told what to do or what have you?
I think it's kind of a balance. You want the players to have responsibilities for their actions and for what they do, but we're also in a place where if it's the right time and we feel that the players need to have more responsibility of a team point of view, then we'll make that happen. But ultimately, we've got to make sure that we're managing the players in the right way. So it's a kind of a balance and knowing when to use which style, really.
That's great. Thanks very much, and good luck at the weekend.
Thank you very much.
Brought to you by DIS, keeping companies connected with cloud-based solutions. Come on!